Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder. Today, United Bancorp Incorporated UBCP just filed an 8K report, and I am seeing some interesting signals about their recent financial performance. Quick note, this is not financial advice, just my take on public filings for educational purposes. The company announced its latest earnings, and while some numbers look solid, there are a couple of things to keep an eye on. Alright, let's dive into this filing from United Bancorp Incorporated, a regional bank. This document is what is called a current report filed shortly after a significant event. In this case, it is about announcing their financial results. It tells us what happened financially for the periods ending the 30th of June 2026. So the big news here is tucked into item 2.02, which covers results of operations and financial condition. United Bancorp put out a press release on the 23rd of July 2026. This press release has the juicy details about how they did financially for the second quarter and the first half of 2026. Lucky for us, they are furnishing this press release as an exhibit so we can get the scoop. This press release, which is exhibit 99 in the filing, is where the real story is. While the filing itself doesn't have the detailed numbers, it points us directly to the source, and based on the research context, we know they posted a net income of $2.09 million for the second quarter, with diluted earnings per S-share of $0.36. For the first half of the year, their net income was $4.01 million. This shows they are indeed growing their profits. The other interesting part of this filing is item 9.01, which lists the exhibits. We've got that press release as exhibit 99. And then there is exhibit 104, which is a cover page interactive data file. This last one is formatted in something called inline XBRL, which basically means it is an XBRL file embedded directly in HTML, making it easier for both humans and computers to read and analyze financial data. It's like a super-powered spreadsheet within the document. Now, looking at the company itself, United Bancorp Incorporated traded under the ticker symbol UBCP on the Nasdaq Capital Market. The market cap is around $94 million with a PE ratio of 11.5. This suggests investors are valuing the company at about 11.5 times its annual earnings. It is a regional bank, and according to our research, they added $44 million in deposits over a 6-month period, which is a positive sign for a bank as deposits are their raw material. It is also worth noting the top institutional holders. Vanguard Capital Management holds a pretty good chunk, about 1.6%. This often signals some level of institutional confidence in the company's stability. Now, let's connect this to the bigger picture. The fact that United Bancorp has added so many deposits is crucial for a bank. Deposits are like inventory. More deposits generally mean more cash available to lend out, which is how banks make money through interest. The reported net income of over $4 million for the first half of the year indicates that they are successfully leveraging these deposits to generate profits. However, there is always more to the story. While the immediate results look good, it is important to remember they are a regional bank. Their stock price has been floating around $15.77 recently, but the 52-week range shows it has been as low as $12.47 and as high as $17.34. This gives us a sense of the stock's volatility. What I am really looking for here is how these earnings compare to expectations and industry trends. The news that their stock price passed above the 200-day moving average on the 10th of July is a technical indicator that some traders see as a bullish sign, suggesting upward momentum. This could mean that the recent earnings news might be reinforcing a positive trend for UBCP. One of the potential risks for banks like United Bancorp is a competitive landscape. The Yahoo Finance article comparing them to OVBC highlights that investors are actively looking at which community bank stocks offer more upside. This means they are not just looking at absolute performance, but also relative performance and future potential compared to their peers. In terms of financial tables, if we were looking at the full press release, we'd want to dive into their balance sheet to see the composition of their assets and liabilities and their cash flow statement to understand how they are generating and using cash. But based on the summary, the key takeaway is the profit growth driven by deposit increases. My overall impression is that United Bancorp is navigating the current financial environment fairly well. They are growing their core business of taking deposits and are translating that into profits. The market seems to be responding positively, with the stock price showing some strength. The risk I am watching is how they manage their loan portfolio in this economic climate, and if they can continue to attract deposits at this pace amidst competition. What I am actually looking for is sustained earnings growth and a clear strategy to handle potential economic downturns. Oh, and the research tools I actually use are linked in the description. They help keep this channel going. That is my take. Stay decoded. If this analysis was valuable, let me know in the comments and subscribe for more. Find our Discord link in the description.